Hey, what is up, everybody? The day is here, the night is here, the show we've all been waiting a couple years for. Ahsoka has finally come home to Disney Plus. We got two awesome uh premiere episodes. I mean, they were awesome. Before we get to that, of course, we want to thank you everybody for joining us here on YouTube, only on YouTube right now. What up, Efren? Yayo!
Oh, what's up?
And hey, Courtney. And we'll get to some of these comments in a little bit. But yeah, welcome to what we are calling Tano Tuesdays. This will be a spoiler filled uh, Ahsoka instant reaction show. So if you haven't seen the show, watch it and then watch the replay of this. But I'm here with my full DU crew or DU co hosts. Our crews are other people, our other friends, Alex and Ryan. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good,
Good.
man. Yeah, how's it going with you?
It is going. I just like I'm still like shaking from this episode. It's so awesome. Before we get to that, a little bit of mousekeeping. We are here just on our YouTube, our DUTV, and we just like do the little YouTube jargon. So if you're not following us, hit the bell, subscribe, hit the like button, share the show, comment what you guys think. Oh, yeah, Fred, you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, we're
Hit,
you'll want to be out of here. So
Yeah, come back and watch this later tonight.
yeah,
yeah,
if
and
you're
then
watching
join
live,
us.
hit the like or even the dislike button because I've read either or will help us go on people's main page. So as long
That's
as
right.
it's
There's no such thing as bad pub, baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, hit that
Absolutely.
thumbs down.
So, like I said, this will be very heavy spoiler on the first two episodes of Ahsoka. But before we get to the show, I do want to say we got a little rest in peace at the end of the first episode. So I want to start this by saying rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. He played Balin, the ex Jedi, Sith, not Sith. We don't know yet, but definitely evildoer. But he passed away. Um, Pretty quickly about a few months ago filming a movie in Italy. If you're not familiar with him, he was on the Punisher Warzone. He was in the Thor movies. I forget his character's name, but he was like the big Gimli type warrior for Thor's um, crew.
He wasn't Gimli.
No. But he had that long red hair beard,
Oh, and
always
Thor,
eating. And Thor,
the
yeah,
Warriors 3. Yeah.
Warriors
He's
Three.
the
Thank you.
one of
Yes,
the other ones.
yes.
Addie was pulling up. She said he was Gar Saxon in
He did the voice for Gar Saxon in
yeah.
Clone Wars and Rebels. So
Hmm.
and he was really excited about his role in this show, and so it's very tragic. So, rest in peace, Ray, and we loved your work so far, and I'm glad they gave you a little nod so early in the season. Uh, but hey, let's get right to it. We will be talking about these episode by episode, so I'm just going to run a few little uh, information. I guess I'm still kind of frazzled. So the part one was called Master and Apprentice. It was written, directed by Dave Filoni, and man, what a way to start! So we're just gonna get our instant reactions and like we'll hit some of our favorite parts and favorite moments and everything. But Alex, you live in an Ahsoka home. What was your initial reaction?
To episode 1, initial reaction was great, man. We got it felt I was kind of trying to dial in the timeline specifically because we see Morgan Elsbeth, and I'm fairly confident this is coming off of her involvement in Mandalorian. But as we were like smashing the numbers, we're like, okay, well, Rebels ends, just before A New Hope. Mandalorian's 9 years after Battle of Yavin, so they're really not that much older. Because I was trying to place the age of Sabine and everybody where they'd be at. And there was a point in the episode where they're making the presentation for Ezra, and they talk about how many years away the Empire had fallen and his sacrifice. Although the Empire fell way after Ezra went away, right? Because we're talking like 3 or 4 years between end of Rebels and end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, so when Rebels ended, it the events of Rebels ended maybe just before the battle in Rogue One, which was again right before A New Hope. So give or take a few months. Then there was a few, like an epilogue that took place after the Battle of Endor, after Returns of the Jedi, and so that's the whole epilogue with Sabine and Lothal because she didn't leave, and then what we see mirrored. We'll get to it a little bit, but so there's about a year to 2 years after the Return of the Jedi, and then fast forward to Mandalorian, which was 5 years. So now, give or take, we're about 6 years after Return of the Jedi, give or take a few.
Where we're at now.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, somewhere 6 to 9, because I remember there being more of a time jump between season 2 and 3 of Mandalorian, and supposedly first season of Mandalorian was 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and I
But
believe
there's a couple years between Empire and Jedi, right? Whereas there's only like half a year or a year between
a year and a
New
half, give or take. Yeah, there's an official. We'll bring up the timeline.
the timeline,
Yeah.
BBY,
So,
ABY.
and what about you, Ryan? What's your initial reactions to?
I really, sorry, I really enjoyed the first episode. As someone that didn't grow up with the Clone Wars or Rebels, like watching it, I thought they did a good job with making me care about everyone.
Yeah,
I'm sure Ahsoka showing up in the Mandalorian had something to do with that, so I was kind of already familiar with the character a little bit. I've watched like chunks of the shows here and there, and I've watched a bunch of like what you need to know shows and different episodes this week. So I wasn't like completely out of the loop, but
yeah,
I still could keep up.
very cool. And Courtney comments, episode 1 was an emotional roller coaster. I cried 3 times. I
Yes,
think.
this is already Disney's best live action remake.
Oh, it's or going on. Yeah, definitely. And Alex, you might be a little bit more versed on this, but if people aren't caught up with Rebels, which I've been telling people for months, get caught up on Rebels. In my opinion, Star Wars Rebels is some of the best, if not one of the best, all-time Star Wars stories out there. And I'm saying this as a lifelong Star Wars fan that grew up with the original, loved the prequels when it came out in my 20s, and loved the sequels. So this is some of the best Star Wars in my opinion. But if they haven't tapped in and want to find out a little bit, you've shared a few places where they can go get a 15-minute, give or take, backstory on Ahsoka and Rebels. Where can they find those at?
Oh, I don't know about no 15-minute
Well,
backstories or nothing. But Ringerverse has a great little primer of episodes. They pulled episodes pertaining to each specific character that we at least know of in the series so far. And I believe they pulled an even longer primer specifically pertaining to Ahsoka herself, just episodes of Mandalorian, Tales of the Jedi, Clone Wars, and Rebels, all to go back and watch. So there's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different characters. Definitely echoing what you're saying about the storytelling in Rebels. It was amazing. I think something I learned when listening to the Ringerverse, their first primer that they did, that the Rebels was the first thing Disney put out after acquiring Lucasfilm. So it's kind of a big mark for them to land, obviously doing the animation versus the live action as a first thing. I think left them a little more cushiony space, at least in the sense that a lot of people who weren't going to check out animation anyway aren't going to be as critical about it. But I think it ended up, along with the storytelling, the really deep-seated lore that goes back to like Clone Wars and, all kinds of, really, really far out stuff that I definitely can't remember. But, the father, the daughter, and the son, and the world between worlds, like it gets really wild, giant wolves. So it's just really, really cool stuff to keep you entertained going down the path with them. And yeah, it's good. Go watch Rebels. I think with Ryan's knock on Clone Wars is how long it is. Rebels only 4 seasons. You can get it all in. And the primer, I was saying, if you really just wanted to watch one season, you can get some of the best storytelling in the 4th season of Rebels.
Yeah,
but just go watch it all. It's all great. I think the biggest thing is the ensemble, the Ghost crew, which we've already gotten to see 3 of. in Ahsoka so far. Hope to see the. I guess technically we saw Ezra through a hologram, so we
Three
saw
and a
him.
half.
Yeah.
And I guess the 15-minute thing I was thinking was Ryan Airy, the screen crush.
Oh
the
yeah,
15
did he do one?
I think
Was it
he's done one
15
in the
minutes?
past.
I was gonna
He
say
always
he
does like
crushed a lot of Ahsoka in there.
yeah, so it does really good. But yeah, check those out and yeah, go watch Rebels. Do yourself a favor. It's great storytelling. But um yeah, so basically I just kind of want to go off some of the crew. Rosario Dawson reprises her role as Ahsoka Tano brilliantly. Natasha Lou Bordizzo played Sabine, and she played her perfect, I thought. Great cast. Mary Elizabeth Winstead played one of my all-time favorite Star Wars characters, Hera Syndulla. Um, Nailed Hera, in my opinion. Then you got David Tennant, who did reprised his role as playing the lightsaber building droid from Clone Wars. And then, of course, Ray Stevenson played Balin Skull. Like I said, we don't know what kind of Jedi's they are yet. I mean, we know he's an ex-Jedi, and but they're not really Sith. I mean, their lightsabers are orange, but I don't know. Ivana Sakno plays Shin Hati, which is his apprentice, and of course, Diana Lee Inosanto reprises her role from season 2 of Mandalorian as Morgan Elsbeth, who, and I'll just jump right into it. Mind blown. She's a night witch,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
holy
Night
crap!
Sisters of Dathomir.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to get too much into that because that was something I was not expecting. But for the quick little skinny, the Night Witches, the Sisters of Dathomir, they're the ones that that it's a planet where Darth Maul's from, basically, and so they, with their witch magic, created Savage Opress, who was, and I'll go back to this, but was voiced by Clancy Brown. Again, like I said, I'll go back to that in a little bit. Who is the brother of Darth Maul, and then they resurrected Darth Maul back from the dead. Apparently, or he was alive, but they redid his legs and all that stuff from the weird spider legs, and that's where his cave was.
Go back and watch the Clone Wars. It's deep.
Yeah, and Rebels because he was in the cave that lured them. They possessed Sabine and Kanan, and that's where Sabine got the dark saber. But the fact that she's a Night Sister was freaking bonkers. So, and they brought the magic out, so that was really cool.
I was really hoping we were going to get to hear one of those wild chants again. There's an episode in Clone Wars where they're doing this chant. I don't know if it's the one to bring Maul back to life or whatever.
Yeah.
But when we were watching it, I started doing it with him, and Addie got real scared. She's like, "Don't do that in here.
Don't do that voodoo.
In the house. Bring that witchcraft in here."
Yeah.
Do you think they would bring Maul back again for this show?
No, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan killed him, right, in Rebels?
Yeah. Courtney, was not expecting her to be a Night Witch. So yeah, that's probably the biggest mind blown part of this episode. Kind of jumping to the plot. It kind of continues back from when Morgan was captured by Ahsoka, looking for Thrawn, looking for the map to find where Thrawn might be because she's heard rumors of him showing up and
Did you
being
want
around.
me to read the scroll?
Yeah, go ahead. That'd be perfect. Yeah.
I snapped some screenshots. So, Star Wars fans, we love a scroll, and we got a scroll on the first episode of this.
I like that.
Not a Marvel scroll, but
no, not a scroll, a scroll,
gotcha.
A screen introductory scroll. And it reads as follows: The evil galactic empire has fallen, and a new republic has risen to take its place. However, sinister agents are already at work to undermine the fragile peace. A plot is underway to find the lost Imperial Grand Admiral Thrawn and bring him out of exile. Once presumed dead, rumors are spreading of Thrawn's return, which would galvanize the Imperial remnants and start another war. Former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano captured one of Thrawn's allies and learned of a secret map, which is vital to the enemy's plan. Ahsoka now searches for the map as her prisoner, Morgan Elsbeth, is transported to the New Republic for trial. So, I mean, presumably picking up right after that episode in season 2, right? Somewhere around then.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know where that ties in with her showing up in Book of Boba Fett, but I mean, getting the clues to get Thrawn is seems to be the main driving force, which we all kind of expected. But then she was feeling that, well, if Thrawn's out there, then maybe Ezra would still be out there. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the end, they disappeared through some Purgles, uh, which I think we will be seeing this season. We saw in the trailer. But as they get the map little ball thing, the Balin and his apprentice Springer out of a Republic ship. So
Can't be everywhere at once.
no, but the action we got, we saw it in the trailer, but I love it because we saw it in Clone Wars season 7. But when she throws her lightsabers, spins them down. I mean, the action in this episode was so incredible.
Yeah, no, right out the gate with Ahsoka going to retrieve the map and going through 5 assassin droids. And then, as you said, meanwhile, Balin and Shin show up as, just, nondescript Jedis. And the guy's like, I'm not buying it. And he's like, I don't care. And
yeah, exactly.
he's like, I'm no Jedi. Starts cutting them up. So two great action sequences going through there. And then, it kind of sets us off on our caper chase.
It kind of going back to that temple. I know we're kind of jumping all over, but like I said, this is initial reaction. I mean, it's hard to soak it in, especially since we've been so excited. But I noticed the statues. I thought they looked like Night Sisters, but I wasn't sure because you don't think you're going to see them. And fast forward, she is. So that was pretty cool. So I don't know where to jump. I want to go straight to Lethal. So
yeah, that's where a lot of it takes place.
Yeah. So right. I know you mentioned you haven't seen too much, but have you seen any of Rebels at all? Or
Yeah, I think I've seen there's 4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen 1, 2, and the last half of 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, before we go to Lethal, it says we get introduced to Hera, which kind of talks Ahsoka to look for Sabine because she can help her translate the map. And we find out, like we see on the previews, that that was her former apprentice. But seeing Lethal in live action was it. I don't know. To me, it was just completely stunning because 3 years of watching animated, a lot of the buildings and everything were very Ralph McQuarrie inspired, and Chopper. I mean, he was the original design for R2. So seeing so much of Lethal look just so cool, loft cats, all this stuff. But it starts off in the main city, and there's a big old ceremony, as Alex mentioned, about paying tribute to Ezra when he was a commander for the Battle of Lethal, which happened at the end. This is going back to Clancy Brown, who he's the gentleman doing the ceremony. Clancy Brown voiced Ryder Azadi, the old governor of Lethal and Rebels, and he plays him in live action.
I was gonna say, yeah, he seemed like he was the governor of Lethal.
Yeah, and so the fact that, like I said, he voiced Savage Opress and came back for Rebels to do this character because he just loves voice acting and he wanted to do so bad. But once I saw him, I'm like, are you another something I did not expect to see was him show up as Governor Ryder. So that was amazing. But yeah, everything on Lethal was so cool.
Yeah, Lethal was dope. As I said, best Disney animated to live action so far. I had the same sort of vibes as when I saw Beauty and the Beast live action. They made it real. Seeing Sabine not standing in front of her artwork, but then again at the end of it, or I guess later in episode 2, standing in front of that mural that she did at the end of Rebels. It kept having me double take if we were seeing a scene from Rebels play out in live action, which I think again is where I started to get tripped up with the timeline. But yeah, it was really cool. We get to Lethal. We get what has happened. They're looking for the map. Balin, Shin, and Morgan, Elsbeth, And Morgan basically tells him that you're going to want to go to Lethal because that's where, and something that we had talked about, I think a little before, is brought up in the trailer, where Sabine, who is Ahsoka's Padawan, was. And this is all kind of spoken and teased through the episode, but we never really get a full background on, if Sabine's Force sensitive or how she decided to become Ahsoka's Padawan or anything, just that it was in the past tense, and that Morgan Elsbeth knew if they wanted to find Ahsoka that they would want to find Sabine because she would lead them to her, which they were absolutely correct about. So they send Shin, the apprentice of Balin, to do the bidding. She goes down. We get a lot more interaction between Ahsoka reuniting with Sabine, them kind of alluding to their falling out. Great moment from the trailer where Sabine kind of sarcastically says "master" back to Ahsoka, and you're like, okay, this is pretty contentious. But she brings Sabine on board right off the bat, kind of cuts to the chase. She's like, I think this will lead us to Ezra. And scenes like this where you see people reuniting and stuff, you kind of expect there to be some sort of like long drawn out talk to get them interested to be a part of it. But Ahsoka wasn't about that at all. She's like, this is why I'm here. Bet. She's like, I need you to help me open this map. I knew you're the one to do it. So Sabine's like, all right, give me a little time and space somewhere where I could think, not on the ship. You could tell she was being clouded with emotions of seeing stuff. Because that was the ghost, right?
No, it was the Phantom 2, which is the ghost little scouting ship.
But the Phantom's the little one that Hera was flying, right?
Oh yeah.
And the ghost is gone.
They haven't shown it yet, but it will be in the show.
It better be.
It better be. They have the big old HasLab thing that's going on right now, which
I know. I was thinking I might want to pre-order that before it sells out once they reveal it on the show.
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump on that real quick because the HasLab, they did the Jabba Sail barge, they did the Razor Crest, then everything they've done like that has not made. They did a Rancor that never made its goal, so that got dropped, and I think lightsaber. But they announced this one. Yeah, I'll share this real quick. So they announced this HasLab. It's going to be $499. This thing is huge. They showed it at Comic-Con. It made its goal within a day and a half. So don't change. Go back to the last picture. So it comes with Hera, and that was the first tier. So now that it made its goal, this was guaranteed to get Hera and the Ghost, which everything is completely articulate. You could get
that looks terrible.
Huh?
That looks terrible.
I'm sure it'll look better. These are just like quick little mock-ups. But they have different tiers that once they hit so it had to get 8,000 backers. It made it. Next thing, it had to get 11,000, and if it got 11,000 backers on the next tier, then it released action figure of Ezra. So
I see it right there. Hera, Ezra, Kanan.
Yeah.
Woo!
And the thing I like about it is all the Ezra figures have always been the long-haired little shotgun or little blaster lightsaber. So I like that it's actually the season 3, season 4 Ezra. But you're now, if you purchase that, you will get both Hera and Ezra figures, and then the next tier I think is like 16,000.
Where does it say what the tiers are?
It's on a different thing. I'll try to pull it up as we when we talk about the second.
I'm just scrolling quickly to see if I can find the tiers.
It's on Instagram. It's on Hasbro Plus Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Here it is.
Yeah,
do they raise the price every time it goes up a tier or no?
No. The price is it's just a matter of the backers.
Right.
The price is concrete.
Well, just off top for $500, it should have all that.
Yeah. So this is an Ezra, so you will be getting Ezra. That was official today.
Okay, there we go. 11,000.
Yeah.
Does it keep going down or 14,000? I want Zeb, man. What is that?
That's the last tier, I believe.
Yeah.
Tier 3, 17,000.
17,000. And they only got 15 more days?
I believe so.
This number will shoot up tonight.
Yeah, especially after if they show the ghost in episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they got 2 more episodes.
But it doesn't end at 17,000, right? If they get over that, they'll keep selling more.
Yeah, they only needed 8,000, so now it's just as many as they can sell.
It's just a matter of how many
back.
figures you get thrown in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a little bit of a rich investment, but if they hit all the marks, then I'm highly tempted.
And they had it on the floor at Comic-Con. I mean, it is huge. It is to scale to the 3.5-inch figures.
The what's Mando's ship? The Razor Crest. That one I'm kicking myself for not backing.
Yeah, Chad. Shout out to Chad on our Mando show. He wound up getting it, so we still haven't done the unboxing yet. But back to the show. One thing I really was, you gotta love the detail of Dave Filoni. But one thing I loved is when Sabine goes back into Ezra's. That was Ezra's basically his home in that little tower. And that's where she was staying. When she had the hologram, which was the old Phantom Menace Jedi communicator, I don't have his name. Oh yeah, I have it up here. But the hologram of Ezra, played by Iman Esfandi, I know it's just a hologram, but dude had his mannerisms, like he was talking. And if you're familiar with the show, Ezra has a real nervous conversation sometimes. So he'll be talking, he'll like scratch the back of his head or something like that. And that guy did it like perfectly. Y'all know Ezra collects Stormtrooper buckets, so they had Scout Trooper and Stormtrooper buckets in the corner. I mean, just the detail to that. The Lothcat, which was at the beginning of the seasons, Lothcats are always bugging Ezra, not knowing that he was force sensitive to creatures and everything, but they just kept coming to him. So the fact that the Lothcat was still in his house, kind of like, I kind of took that as still in his presence still in a way. But we saw Sabine's armor under a table, saw her helmet sticking up. So just the attention to detail I thought was amazing. And I mean, like I said, this first episode was so cool.
Yeah, I had a little problem with the Lothcat to Chopper ratio in these first 2 episodes, but hopefully that'll balance out as they're traveling.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the Rebels. So Ezra basically sacrificed himself to get rid of Thrawn.
Kind of.
Is Ezra going to be dark side in the show?
Probably not. But who knows? Because there's already people thinking that he's the Inquisitor, but I think that's stupid. I don't think he is. So. But
yeah,
the Inquisitor that showed up.
Yeah.
But
okay.
He sacrificed, and we could talk a little bit about it in depth later on, but the way, I mean, it's those Purgles, those little giant floating space whales that Grogu saw in the first episode of season 3. Those are what kind of sent him and Thrawn to the outer reaches. So,
gotcha. Yeah, they could travel at light speed, and Ezra could communicate with them. So he sacrificed himself by grabbing Thrawn and basically clicking with the Purgle to send them away and save everyone else. They're lost in space.
And people that see this as a cartoon, I mean, like I said, do yourself a favor and watch it. I mean, it's so freaking good. But I mean, like I said, I think we pretty much touched on everything on episode 1 so far. I mean,
until Sabine gets aced, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I was go ahead and bring that up. So
yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's get this.
Yeah.
I mean that was so I said Shin is told to go to Lothal to find Sabine Wren, who would lead her to Ahsoka. We get Sabine and Ahsoka there on the planet. Ahsoka here trying to recruit Sabine. Sabine says that she will try and crack the map open and stay there, as Ahsoka wasn't sure about letting her go away with. Ahsoka leaves the room for a minute, and sure enough, Sabine left with the map. I don't know that Ahsoka really impressed upon her how the reason she shouldn't leave is because there were other people. I think she did say something about there's other people looking for this map or something.
Yeah.
But basically, Sabine goes back to the tower. Ezra's apartment, and she goes there and starts kind of messing with the map to try and crack the code to get it open. Sure enough, she does. As she gets it open, she says, "Hey, looks like we're going on a trip." You can tell she's excited because she thinks she's found the key to finding Ezra. And just as that happens, some of the assassin droids and Shin show up to steal this map and take it away. So you see her get into a little bit of a fight. I feel that you could tell she was a little rusty, but definitely held her own. Fighting with the assassin droids, she shoots one of them in the foot, which ends up being a big thing because that one is left on site. Follows the other one downstairs who took the map, encounters Shin, and then you get a good battle. She busts out her lightsaber, another nod to her being a Jedi Padawan or whatever. You get a good battle with Shin, but I think right off the bat, we all kind of knew that the skills weren't going to be quite even in this. And the episode closes out with Sabine catching a lightsaber to the gut, just as Ahsoka was arriving to save her.
Yeah. And I was just like,
which is why they could not let us have only one episode.
Yeah. Was that right?
Do lightsabers just not kill people anymore? Didn't that how Qui-Gon died?
Ever since Book of Boba Fett and what's his name, Thundercat, he can just fix people and shit, right? You got what's her name, Fennec Shand. I mean, Luke got new hands and shit back in the day. I mean, I get getting a hand cut off and getting a sword to the gut aren't necessarily equivocal, but
so Qui-Gon literally got stabbed through the heart. Sabine got stabbed through the love handle.
So basically, unless it's your brain or your heart, you're probably all right.
Or vital
because
organs.
it's even though it's a long time ago, it's in a galaxy far, far away where they have advanced back to medicine where they can just fix anything.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's just like, and it kind of it's heat. So according to says, I was absolutely shocked when lightsaber went through Sabine. That is definitely when I cried.
So it instantly cauterizes the wound.
Kind of, I think, but it didn't hit like a vital organ.
And you're like, this still hurts, but I'm all right.
Yeah. So, but like I said, if you look at Qui-Gon, I mean, he was definitely through the heart. So.
I mean, Maul even got halved, and we seen him again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. Okay, that took me out of the end of the first episode and the beginning of the second episode a little bit.
They could have just started the second episode. Somehow Sabine returned.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna get like writing for each episode.
Writing?
Oh, like a scroll.
Oh, a scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. I don't think we need to.
No, I don't think so either.
I see what you mean, though.
It was a good intro to the series. I think there's gonna be. Yes, thank God there was a second episode.
Yeah, I would have been pissed.
I think that was 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a little long to see it be like a movie, but at least having the scroll, I'm hoping keeps it so it's like a continuous story. Obviously, there will be little subplots each week, but yeah. I know the big thing I said going into it is I hope they don't just tease us with Thrawn and then give it to us at the end. I do feel the kind of Thanos vibe, like they're building him up to be the bad for Filoni's movie in a couple of years.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
I think we might get teased, but I'm not mad with what we got. At least one episode in.
No, absolutely.
Great cliffhanger. If it was actually a cliffhanger,
I can imagine the people that got to see it at Disneyland in Florida and El Capitan, just like, right.
I'm assuming they got to see 2 episodes as well.
I'm guessing they did, yeah. So and before we end, one more thing that I'm so happy. I called this on the Mando show. This was one of my hot takes. Not really a big hot take, but I guess it kind of was. The music was brilliant, and it was conducted by Kevin Kiner, who did the music for Clone Wars and Rebels.
Nice.
He hit all those themes. He hit Ahsoka's theme. He hit Sabine's theme, plus the newer stuff. So a lot of Star Wars fans are hoping that he gets, he's got a taste of the live action already, but that he would succeed under John Williams and do more movies. And he's also done Peacemaker score, but I loved it. So
no, definitely great. The musical vibe was more in line with the the original trilogy and stuff
Yeah.
versus the television series.
Yeah. And they did get to see him back to back. So before we go to episode 2, I guess should we do a rating for episode 1 out of 10, or what do you think?
Nah, I don't know if you want to. I can.
Nah,
No.
thumbs
I,
up.
I- yeah, the
Good
favorite
start.
scene was definitely the Darth Vader in a hallway scene for the new bad.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
Everyone
it.
loves a hallway fight.
Yeah. Everybody was hallway fighting. What
I
about
think
your
I
favorite
just
scene?
love seeing the kind of like Joe said, seeing Lethal in live action, the scene with the the kind of public square with the governor presenting. I don't think we ever got to see the statue of Ezra. I was interested to see that,
Oh, yeah.
but that was cool, and yeah, that was kind of the moment. That and seeing Chopper, which came in the next episode, is what really made me like, yeah, they made it real.
Yeah. I'm just gonna piggyback off yours. Like I said, Rebels. I love Rebels, one of my favorites. So not just Lethal, but just the detail to Ezra's quarters. I thought was amazing. So, um, yeah, well done. Great first episode. Rosario kicked ass as Ahsoka as usual. Got me hyped. And like Courtney says, and we've said, so glad we got 2 episodes. So we did get the name of episode 2, or what they were calling part 2 on Disney Plus, was Toil and Trouble. And this one was directed by Steph Green. Alex, you got a little bit of information on Steph Green, where we might have seen her even recently.
Yeah, she's directed some stuff that you may know, television shows, The Americans, Watchmen, and Book of Boba Fett. And I guess the greatest accolade thus far, in addition to numerous awards at, kind of smaller local film festivals. Tribeca, just a little tiny one over there. But,
Yeah.
I'm saying festivals around the world versus just the big Academy Award nomination she received for a short live action film called New Boy. That was back in 2009. So she's been around the block. She's directed some stuff. And I think at least I'm not familiar with the Americans, but I am familiar with Watchmen and Book of Boba Fett. So knowing that and seeing the episode kind of gives you a vibe for her pedigree and what her style is.
Yeah, and the Americans was actually a great show on FX. It had Kerry Russell, and I forget who played her husband, but it was about the Russian spies that
Yeah.
pretended they were Americans. Really great show. I didn't watch all of it, but it was really good. So, but yeah, we start off where we take off, or we start off where we left off, basically, and they find the location because the what was the girl's name again? The apprentice
Shin?
Shin. They have the ball, and they're on, not the ball, but
Map.
the orb, the map, and they go to what looks like kind of like an Eastern island kind of place, with little weathery, and it kind of comes alive. Balin noticed something in the sky, which I think was our first little tease of the season of the Purgles, because you hear kind of like a whale-ish kind of sounds, but you barely see a shadow of it. Then it cuts off to the opening, and
I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to pop that
yeah,
back on.
that's at least what I'm guessing. So, but initial reaction before we're going on second episode, I'll start with Ryan this time. What do you think of this?
Yeah, it was good. Still, like the beginning took me out for a bit because I find it annoying when they pretend to kill a character type deal, like when they do with Chewie and stuff, and it's just like I'm just kind of done with that. So the beginning kind of took me
Especially
out.
the first episode.
Yeah, it's like okay, like we know she's not dead. Like there's just no need for that. Why don't you just like have her like have a really bad arm like wound or something, and she drops down and but
Or just cut her arm off and replace it with a robot arm like everyone else.
yeah. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Again, same thing. Like, didn't feel left out or confused. Like there's probably a few references that I just didn't get, but I didn't know I didn't get them. So, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. What about you, Alex?
My favorite moment was from this episode of both episodes, and it was another moment that just made me feel like, wow, they really captured the characters, the vibe, everything from Rebels. It was, I guess, kind of towards the middle. after they have, we join them in Sabine's hospital bed. She's being nursed back to health with those nurse droids we've seen all through Star Wars. And there is a exchange after they realize that they can use the left assassin droid's memory banks to figure out where it came from. Hera tells Sabine that she did a good job, and Sabine makes a comment, why don't you tell her that? And then Hera comes back and says, because you're the one who needs to hear it. And you just totally got the vibes of, that these three, have this history, but that they trust and know each other so well. And it felt to me that they had both embodied those characters who were played by different people previously. So I really enjoyed it. Felt they hit the nail on the head in that moment.
No, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head that just there is so much history with Hera and Sabine alone, and of course with Ahsoka, but not as much as the original Ghost Crew. And
Well,
Sabine
there's a
was
lot
there.
of history. We just don't know it yet.
Yeah, and
At least with Sabine and Ahsoka.
absolutely. But yeah, Mary Elizabeth playing Hera perfectly. You got that space mom vibe and you got that little bratty teen who's now in her 20s at least.
How about the great moment in the same scene prior to what I said, but when they're in the hospital room and she's like, oh, okay, I can do this right here. And they're like, what happens if it overheats? And she's like, it explodes. And then Hera's all like, I say do it. And Hu Yen, the robot, says, you're saying that because you're a hologram. That was hilarious.
But that was something they did all the time in Rebels, was reprogramming the heads of assassin droids and not battle droids, but like the ones that the assassin droids are basically, they analyze everything, and if they got defeated one way, they'd analyze it and totally make up for it the next battle or whatever. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm going to say my favorite part was Hera and Chopper and the Phantom 2. That was vintage. Just the bickering in the middle of being shot at in a battle. That
they do a better job with him, kind of similar to Chewbacca, in placing him in dialogue where you can infer what he's saying.
Yeah.
Not to mention his beeps sound a little bit more like words versus like R2D2,
Yeah.
But props to the actor, actress in all these situations who are acting against the droid, because they are really the ones who help deliver their emotion by reacting or delivering their line in a certain sort of inflection.
Yeah. And for those of who do not know, this was a big question during the entire span of Rebels on who voiced Chopper, and it was finally revealed after the finale in the credits. But if you don't know, Dave Filoni is the voice for Chopper, and so it
was he in this as well?
That was definitely Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, I love how you can hear him talk. Like she's like, "I didn't touch your thing." He's like, "Man."
Yeah.
But I just
and then she's like, check right under the batteries, and he's like, oh
yeah,
it was great.
That was just perfection. But
yeah, I mean, so just sidebar, screw Ahsoka, give me Hera and Chopper in Galaxy's Edge, please.
Yeah, I'll take Ahsoka, but yeah, I'll definitely take Hera.
I want Hera and Chopper. Just Chopper. Just Chopper.
Yeah.
Let Chopper roll into Oga's Cantina once every hour or something.
Yeah,
have a little interaction with Rex. Grab a drink and then head back out the door when they say no droids allowed or something like that.
Yeah, and he'll be like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." I won't talk too much about it, but from afar, when I was at Disneyland the other day, we saw R2D2 around the corner from the Falcon. So,
nice.
So when I saw R2D2, I'm like, oh, we're definitely going to see Chopper. We got to see him real soon. And like I said, Hera is one of my favorite.
We saw Chopper at the River Cats game.
That's right, we did. So, yeah, I mean the plot of this one just kind of further went kind of. They ended up on Corellia. That's where the where Han Solo's from, where Solo starts. Because we find out that Morgan still has the plant going there, and so they're still Imperial loyalists. And so basically, they went to Corellia to uh, see what's going on there, and then Hera notices that there's a hyperdrive that should not be there because, and the guy that I forget the name of the guy, but that was kind of like showing them around was like, oh yeah, that's for a Republic something ship, and they're like, and Hera, I
I think
mean,
Mern was his name, but yeah.
yeah, something like that, but it's
Yeah,
like,
Hera's a Republic general, so I mean,
yeah,
every time she would say, "Well, you can tell me this. I have clearance." Da, 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 and he was just kind of stumped and like,
it's classified. I'm
But
a
yeah, so
general.
that
Nothing's
when
classified.
Sabine had decoded the memory banks of the robot or the assassin droid, it was determined that it came from Corellia. That's how they decided to go there.
Yeah,
And yeah, so they're Empire loyalists all within. He kind of explains that as he's taking them to see. Hera's like, New Republic's not building anything that big for hyperdrive that big, and he starts trying to say that there was, and then a couple of the ship starts to take off. They say ground that ship right now, and he's like, I can't. I already gave the orders. And then one of the Empire loyalists grabs his blaster. He says, "For the Empire!"
yeah. Then we get the cool Ahsoka trying to run down, then
Out
and
the
Hera trying to
window.
get to the Phantom, and then
She's a
there's
slow runner.
yeah, but there's an assassin droid and a Inquisitor, which I thought was
Inquisitor, yeah.
not, they weren't around during these times, but we find out they are.
I know. I'm pretty sure. I think the only thing from trailers that we haven't seen was from one of that later trailers that has her going against presumably same Inquisitor, and the spinning, the blade is spinning, and she like times it to get her blade in there right at a time. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's cool.
So-
As Inquisitors, that's another. I guess we got a little bit of them from Obi-Wan, but
this was a true to Rebels
Yeah.
Inquisitors that we saw in the season 1 and 2. So
I love how those lightsabers, they can fly with those. It's like a Sith Mary Poppins.
yeah, pretty much. So get the cool lightsaber battle with Ahsoka, get the cool space battle with Hera, and then
Chopper finds the tracker under his batteries.
And does it, yes,
Chopper flex.
just in time. So I should have brought my chopper out. Dang it! I'll bring it up for our next show when we do episode 3. But I mean that there's a whole lot going on with pretty much going on with episode 2. Unless there's anything you guys else want to bring up, and if you guys that are watching, if you have any opinions on the first 2 episodes, put them in the comments and we'll read them. But
make sure you're following us on Instagram too, because we're gonna kind of bring some of this stuff over on our Instagram story through the week, and maybe poll you guys for what you're thinking going into episode 3 when we or go live and talk about this after episode 3 next week. But yeah, the episode pretty much finishes. They have gotten away. You got Hera off doing Republic stuff. Ahsoka goes back to Lothal, where Sabine is confronting her past. She starts dusting off all her armor, and we get her. I think I'm not a huge samurai fan, but it seemed very samurai style what she did with the blade, cutting off her hair, saying like, I'm ready to be a warrior again, basically.
Yeah, which Filoni is a big samurai, Seven Samurai fan, and a lot of the Mandalorians that he made him like a lot of samurai traditions. So, and I can't believe I almost mentioned that, but the fact that we get the mirror images minus a few small details, like Sabine's in the tower, sees the X-wings and Ahsoka's ship go completely from the finale, then follows them to the, where then she finally, decides to see the picture and kind of like, all right, I'm going to find Ezra. But the way she taps the mural spot for spot, or same shot for shot, what was on the animated, then the only real difference was Ahsoka didn't have a staff. Because I know, and when she showed up with a staff, everybody's like, "Oh, Ahsoka the White," like from Lord of the Rings.
I was gonna say Gandalf, yeah. No, that was the part that tripped me out as far as what time frame the epilogue was. I thought we were seeing that moment from the Rebels epilogue in real life, thus kind of coming to fruition what people were saying, that this is going to be a real life 5th season of Rebels.
Yeah.
But so that wasn't that exact moment, or do we not know that?
They
I know they changed the dialogue because
they changed the dialogue,
she said,
but
"I'm ready" before.
I took it as that was the exact same scene, just changed for live action.
I haven't read many articles or things. I just listened to the primers for Ringerverse, but one of the headlines or clickbait things I saw was that Filoni saying we're not changing Star Wars canon. And I could only think that might be in reference to some of these scenes where it looks like they're mirroring and basically doing a live action coming out of Rebels.
Yeah, because I don't think it's necessarily changing. They just expanded. It's a expanded edition of what we saw in the animated version.
But that's what I'm saying. If it's the same moment, it should be told the same way.
You would think so, but I don't know.
I'm thinking it's not the same moment.
I don't think it's the same moment either. Ahsoka does look older, like you said, when she has the staff, but I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, it would again kind of line up as to why we got these 2 episodes, because where we're at now basically brings us right to the end of Rebels. So and anything that happens next is new.
Yeah. So,
but then you go back in Elsbeth. So that means what's happening in Mandalorian is going on concurrently prior to the epilogue of Rebels?
I believe so.
Okay.
But I did go back right when the part 2 was over. I went to the very end of Rebels, and it is pretty much shot for shot. Minus a few small details, like I said, the staff, but at the time, there's no dialogue. It's Sabine narrating the dialogue, but nothing's spoken at the whole time.
Yeah.
So the only real, yeah.
I'm gonna go and watch both episodes again, and we're probably gonna pull up that. But if that's what that is, I mean, I'm Chillsville as well, man. I'm super excited. I'm ready for more. You guys got anything else you want to say about this episode before I ask you a couple predictions?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just going to read Courtney's comment real quick. I think it was a mirror image. Sabine had to go face that mirror to make sure that she was ready to make the journey. Yeah, I agree with that. And it is a little different, but it's for the storytelling on this one. But yeah, if you watch the finale at the very end of Rebels, it like even the way, like I said, she taps Ezra's face. So she has a satchel, then her helmet on the side, and then yeah, and they walk. The ship is behind them the way it is. Ryan commented on or liked it right away, but I instantly had to do a goofy little TikTok. Things are kind of like blown up to like over almost 600, but I don't know if I can.
We can't hear it, but the audio goes perfectly with it.
600 or 600,000?
600.
600?
Yeah, he posted it like right before we started streaming.
All right, everybody, if you're following Joe on TikTok, we want to get this TikTok to 10,000 views. If it gets to 10,000 views, Joe's doing that dance on next week's episode.
Oh, I will do it. Yes.
In the same outfit as the girl.
We can't guarantee that. But maybe we get him in his Jedi cloak or something. Jedi cloak with lightsaber. And then we'll make another one for next week's episode.
Nice. But no, I mean, solid start to a season that has, I think, a lot riding on it. I always hate to bring up the negativity in the Star Wars community, but I don't even bring it, but to have a character that when Rosario Dawson was cast, I know I love the casting instantly. And a lot of my friends, and rightfully so, who have met Ashley Eckstein numerous times, were really feeling bad that she's not part of this. But I love Ashley Eckstein. She did a great job. But Rosario is a perfect live action Ahsoka, but the way this started, I think it started off so solid. So I cannot wait. I haven't been as excited since I think the first couple episodes of Mandalorian. for Star Wars content, and I've
Yeah,
liked
no, it's
the
a
stuff
bummer.
it-
I'm gonna have to wait 6 weeks to see it wrap up, but I'm excited. The last episode's on my birthday, so
Yeah,
I'll be watching the penultimate episode while down at Disneyland. So very
Nice.
excited for that. Actually, I might even be watching it on the plane. The plane,
Yeah.
The
What
plane,
is
the plane.
the final episode?
October 3rd.
Yeah, I'll be.
The 3rd because it's Tuesday now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna watch it. 'Cause I'll be. I don't want to watch it on my phone.
Where are you gonna be?
Orlando.
Are you? What hotel are you staying at?
The Universal like beach.
Boo.
They had a Canadian deal.
Boo. Some of the resorts, at least on Disney property, and I'm sure a lot of newer hotels now let you cast your phone to the TV.
That's
I
true.
know when we were at Coronado and Contemporary, I could cast Disney Plus to the TV.
I could just bring a Google Stick thing.
Bring your stick thing, Ryan.
I'll bring a stick thing.
Ryan will be like, "Hey, where do I stick my stick?"
And it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast too,
That's
so you'll
true.
be able to like finish your park day and then watch it, and we'll catch
That's
up.
true.
But
Am I gonna be at Hollywood Studios the day after? That would be sick.
that would be good. That would be cool.
Especially if there is Hera,
No.
because like you mentioned earlier, next week, tomorrow, Ahsoka is going to be in the Galaxy's Edge. At
I will
Disneyland.
I will be in Hollywood Studios the day of the premiere.
So on the 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people aren't streaming it on their phones out there, and
I'm finishing the day at Epcot.
it could be like old school tailgate parties where somebody gets the rabbit ears, and we just set it up in the marketplace, or I don't know.
That'd be dope.
Reminds me of first one of the first times I was out there, and people were just playing sabacc at the tables outside of Docking Bay 7. It just felt natural. It was cool.
Maybe we'll do like a season finale thing, and I can go to the one at Disney Springs.
That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet.
Boom,
So,
done.
let-
Let
Keep
me
our
call
eyes
him.
peeled for that.
So we got a few watchers still. So let us know what you thought about the first few episodes. And Alex, you said you had a couple of questions for us.
Yeah, I got a couple of little things to wrap, a little fun, little serious. I'm not big on predictions because I don't like spoiling it for myself. But obviously, there is that fun little bit of, accomplishment when you knew something that was going to happen. So I guess just pick one, just shooting a dart, spitballing against the wall, see if it sticks. One thing you think is going to happen this season.
I'll let Ryan go first.
Just for funsies, I think Ezra will kill one of the main people from like the Ghost Crew, and he'll be bad guy.
So
You
you
think
think
that's
he's
a-
like that Inquisitor dude or something?
No, I think he's like a really like a dark Sith. Like he'll have a cloak and like scars, and
What do you think? They like flayed his mind or something?
I don't know. It would be cool.
Son of Darkness, everybody. Star Wars.
That's where I was going.
Son
with
of
that.
Darkness. That's Ryan's predictions. I'm going to say more so just hope. I don't know. Again with the talk of Ashley Eckstein and Rosario Dawson, if there's any animosity there, but I would love to see her cameo. Obviously, I think for me it would be great if it was in like a creature or a masked form, a la Daniel Craig in Force Awakens, but just kind of a little like, hey, we want you to be here. You are this character. And I know there's not that animosity between them. But, again, negative internet recesses always want to have a problem and bicker about something. So I think it would be great if she showed up in some capacity, in a stormtrooper costume, or I don't know, whatever. Just somehow a hidden Easter egg of a cameo by Ashley Eckstein.
That would be cool.
And I think the reason why I said master creature, because if it was her voice, you'd know.
Yeah. So I know over the spring and during different conventions, they actually Eckstein did show up on set, and they've taken plenty of pictures together. Then they've hung out together at different conventions and hugging. So I know there's no animosity there. Which Courtney just says she did visit the set, so that is probable. And Hey, Bob Paycheck, what's up? I haven't watched it yet, but stoked to be here.
You might
Watch
well
it.
leave.
We're almost done here.
Yeah, you might
You
well
know
leave.
some of my hot takes. Um, one of my big predictions was you would see a young Ahsoka, and it would be voiced by Ashley Eckstein. But I do like your idea of actually having her, where you see her somewhere, whether it's a whatever character. But I think it'd be cool to see Ashley Eckstein in the flesh. But I still do think we might hear her because I did see something. I don't think it was comic book. I'll have fun at work, man. So get make that dough.
Boss makes
Um,
a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I watch DU on company time. Hey,
hey,
That was quick.
that was awesome. Uh, I did
you've
see
heard that
somewhere.
before, Ryan, right?
No,
Boss makes a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
no. I always just say I'm going. If I have to poo before I leave, I just said no. Well, they're gonna pay me to poo.
That's right. You must
Okay,
pay. Sorry. Yeah.
but I don't know if I know Alex, you and Addie watched it. I'm not sure about Ryan, but one of the daughters from Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, I forget the ones that the Targaryens that lived on the water. I forget their names right now.
Watergarians.
Yeah, we'll call them that for right now. So the Watergaryens, one of the daughters, the young versions of the daughters, is might be playing a young Ahsoka.
Huh.
So, which goes to my hot take, which is
You're
I don't
talking
know
from
if it's a
House of the Dragon, right?
yeah,
The one where their dad was the guy with the ships and everybody?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
but
But the
I can't
younger
remember.
versions, right? Before they
Yeah,
grew up?
yeah, like the
Yeah, okay.
10,
Right,
11
right,
year
right.
old versions. But I think, and there's been rumors, but you don't, I don't know about rumors, but I still think we will get one, a flashback Hayden Christensen with Ahsoka, and two, a Force Ghost Anakin with Ahsoka.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh.
IMDb might have fucked that up for me, but I don't know if I
Well,
trust what I see on there.
I don't trust it as
Because
much
that's
no
just
more.
like it's like Wikipedia, right?
Yeah,
Anybody can add that.
What's
pretty
DB?
much. So
IMDb.
Oh, IMDb.
yeah,
Yeah, I was looking at it
Got
to
it.
try and get the name of the episodes earlier, and when you start scrolling through the cast, it might have some questionable spoilers stuff in there.
yeah, and I'll say, I mean, this is a
Mace
spoiler
Windu.
thing, anyways, but they have Tamora Morrison cast as Rex.
That was the
Uh,
one. That was the
yeah,
one.
so I mean, it's been there for months, and like I said, IMDb is kind of like a upper Wikipedia right now, where anybody can enter something right now. So until it's there, I don't believe it. But
Anarchy.
but that's my big hot take is we will see Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, but I'm calling it
Mace
as a
Windu.
flashback and as a Force Ghost because I think to see Ahsoka after we see them fight in Rebels, which is season 2 of Rebels, the finale might be one of the greatest finales of any TV show I've ever seen, ever, with her and Vader fighting, and to see her like see that he actually did get redeemed, I think would just melt every Star Wars fan's heart like 3 sizes that day.
Um, I
Any me
hate to
anyways.
go back, but there was the moment in the first episode when Ahsoka and Sabine are getting reacquainted, and Sabine makes the comment about like she says something like, "Isn't that what your master did?" or like whatever happened to your master. And
Yeah.
of course, you get like that classic Ahsoka turns away, looks off in the distance, camera dialed on her. But I felt, obviously, it doesn't help not recounting the line, but it was something where she knew who he was, but I don't know if Sabine knew who he was.
Yeah. I
Like
don't
the
think she did.
galaxy doesn't know that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker yet
They might at this point because they
because
found
of
out,
Return of the Jedi.
and I don't want to go too much into the rabbit hole, but they had the Aftermath books that came out that kind of
Right.
led into the Force Awakens, and once people found out that Darth Vader was the father of Leia, that's what kind of forced her out of. They're like, oh well, we don't want you, in the rebellion, and that's what kind of made her be part of the resistance, and because the resistance was like, no, this is happening. They're like, no, you're, so they were really against Leia being Vader's daughter.
it's kind of interesting between what we've seen now in the last season of um, Mandalorian and, of course, the Aftermath books, and here they're just like intentionally writing the New Republic dumb to justify the rise of the First Order.
Yeah, they're a bunch of chumps.
It's like, how did you guys do this again? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, but I mean, there's so much rabbit holes we could go into right now just on the 2 seasons. I do want to say so far, going back to not saying how credible IMDb is, but it is a show with a lot of fans do relate to, not relate, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. But the rating so far for episode 1 is a 9.4, and then the ratings for episode 2 is a 9.7.
Does it tell you how many ratings or?
Not a whole lot. So one only has 108 ratings so far, and then episode 2 has 98. But I mean,
that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, like 4 people weren't feeling it.
I guess, but I've seen a lot of friends comments, and just everybody's geeked out. So I think, like you said, might be the best Star Wars content on Disney Plus so far, and that's saying a lot.
Best Disney live action remake so far.
Yeah, is it a remake though?
No,
I mean it's a live action version of Rebels. I'm gonna call it that until it's not.
It's a continuation.
Give me Zeb. Give me more Chopper.
Either way, I freaking love it. These first 2 episodes knocked it out of the park.
Last little sidebar: if anybody is on TikTok and can find me a video mixing Chopper, the droid from Rebels and Ahsoka, with Chopper, the rapper from the MTV television show Making the Band, Volume 2, the one with the rap group in New York. Every time I see Chopper, I think about that time when he raps his name, other Chopper. He says, CHOPPER. So that's how I say Chopper's name every time I see him. But yeah, Chopper to Chopper. I'm going to have to make a TikTok tribute video or something. Somebody make it for me. And then the last little wild thing I wanted to send us out on, because I know if y'all got to this point, you all seen the episodes. We know you're feeling it, and we appreciate y'all for feeling us. And hey, there's some buddy love right there.
Yeah, but those are our Ahsokas. We love them both.
So when we get into this next week after episode 3, I'm gonna pose this question to Ryan and Joey and myself right now, and then I'm gonna put it in the our stories on our Instagram at Disney Universe Podcast on Instagram. We know you're all there already. If you're not, go check us out. We like to, at least shout out and share things that we love on a day-to-day basis. So a day before we do this again, so next Monday to Tuesday, I'm going to pose this question to y'all. And that is, now that we've seen Ahsoka and Sabine have this strained relationship, and we have not yet found out why, I want to know, why is Ahsoka and Sabine's relationship strained? Wrong answers only.
Right now?
From us right now, but I'm going to put it in our story with a little answer question box, and everyone else who's watching or has watched can go and put that on Instagram, and we'll read them all when we get started next week. But from you guys, what do you think is the reason? Or I'll go ahead and start. The reason.
Real quick, I can say, Courtney says, I think we'll get Zeb since we did get him in Mando.
Right? Yeah, you didn't work on all that CGI for just one quick little, shot.
Exactly.
That was my beef with Chopper and the Loth Cat. I was like, is Chopper really more CGI than the Loth Cat? Why am I getting so much Loth Cat? But I think it was just where they were in the episodes. I want more Chopper. Let's get a whole Chopper episode.
Chopper.
Give me my murder droid.
Murder droids. I think Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship is strained because Ahsoka went around telling people, there's only a few, but the last few Jedis, that Sabine lost her virginity to a Wookiee. And I'd be kind of mad about that too. So got to earn my trust back.
Wild.
Let's
What do you think,
see.
Ryan? Wrong answers only.
Yeah, I can't disagree. It's possible.
Right, but it's wrong. So, why do you think they're beefing?
I only have non-PG answers in my head right now.
Oy.
It's a Disney adult podcast.
We'll say maybe it's because Sabine is a dark Sith and she's gonna kill somebody from the Ghost Crew or something.
No, Ezra is going to do
Yeah,
that.
I know what your off the wall take. That's also one for wrong answers only. I'll say that right now. How about you?
No,
Joe, you got one?
Oh man, wrong answers only. Mm, I, let's see. I'm usually so good at these, but I can't think of something right now.
This one's very on the spot.
It's bad when you have to put the Jeopardy music on for yourself.
I know, right?
I'm gonna
Better
let
than
you guys cook.
well.
I'm gonna let you cook with everybody else at home.
How about this one?
Think of your wrong answer for why the relationship between Sabine and Ahsoka is strained, and all y'all put it in our stories next Monday, and we'll read them on the show next Tuesday, right before we get into episode 3.
We will make a graphic of that. No, but I was thinking
Not Sabine and a Wookiee, right?
no, not Sabine and a Wookiee, but maybe Sabine was playing with Ahsoka's lightsaber. I don't know.
She's got her own.
I know.
Ah. All right. Before we digress any further into a galaxy far, far away and far, far off of YouTube, we want to thank y'all for joining us. Again, make sure you're doing all those YouTube things, like, subscribe, or dislike. As Ryan pointed out, we will take all the love and hate as long as you're watching us. And make sure you're following us on those socials. And check out the podcast. We got other great information about how you could be part of our Patreon, our DU crew. And we've got an awesome episode coming up next week that I think will be on the same day that we're going to be recording this. So we'll have a double feature.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I also want to say I do have a plan on having a guest join us. I reached out to her earlier today. You guys know her from Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. One of the best Ahsoka Tano cosplayers. Ahsoka freaking Tano might join us one of these days to break down one of these Ahsoka episodes. And I think it'd be fun to have a few guests here and there. So this is something that I forgot to tell you guys about earlier, but
surprise!
No,
all the Ahsoka love is welcome.
Yeah, and I got a few other ideas for some, maybe a few other guests that I think would really be good to have on the show. But we'll have more on that later on. But yeah, like Alex said, be sure to check us out on our shows coming up, and let us know too. We will be putting out some posts that like the questionnaire Alex had earlier. So a lot of fun. So good, solid start to the season. Can't believe we're already here, but I'm so excited to be here. And yeah,
I know so, we just got the first episode, and we're a quarter of the way through the season.
How
are you gonna do me like that, Disney?
Yes, that's screwed up. So if you're going to Disneyland tomorrow, go say hi to Ahsoka for us, and hopefully you'll be able to see Hera and Chopper soon. Because
go ask her where Chopper is.
Yeah, exactly. But right on, guys. Well, may the force be with you. We will see you. It is right. And we saw Richard and Sarah. They had the chopper that
they were holding a chopper. Is that a thing you can build, or is it just a bought off the shelf?
They have the build up the bought off the shelf one, like how you had the DJ Rex.
Yeah,
and you could buy R2. You could do chopper, but I shout out to the Tano channel. He's a YouTube channel, does a lot of Star Wars Disneyland stuff, and he has a chopper. He has a good video on that. What was that? Okay, he's frozen. So, but we'll catch you guys next Tano Tuesday for episode 3. We got one more comment. They built that chopper. Oh, okay,
Ooh,
nice.
build a chopper. Hey, it's West Coast Choppers.
Yeah, that's the kind of West dude. That's a T-shirt right now. Hey, Lewis, are you still in? We want a West Coast Chopper T-shirt.
But like,
We'll
give
talk.
him the weird mustache and the extra medium shirt, like the guys from the show.
Yeah, but we will be back next Tuesday night.
Oh, it
Most
could
like-
be like a meme, of the dad and the son yelling at each other, but it's Chopper and like another Chopper or something.
So I guess we'll do a quick little discussion since we're live, and we started tonight's show 8:30 Disneyland time, but since we're only doing one episode now, should we say 7:38 ish?
I mean, that's all. We'll see what happens
Yeah,
next
yeah.
week because we have.
It's
other
only a
things we
30-minute
might be
episode
doing.
from what I heard. So
No, I meant like with our other episode we're trying to record.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't know about that, go and listen to our last or watch here on YouTube episode of the Disney Universe podcast, where we're really excited to get back to one of our favorite events of the year, the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. That will be the next time you see us. Potentially, we might do this first, and that'll be the next day. Still trying to dial in all our armchair Imagineers for that. But look forward to that being our next episode of the full podcast.
Cool. Anything else to say goodbye to, Ryan? Son of
Yeah,
Darkness.
I don't know if I'm here or lagging.
Yeah,
You're
you
lagging
are
a
like-
little bit.
Oh, okay, sorry. But yes, see you guys next week.
Cool. Good night, everybody, and
Good night.
may the force be with you.